before they were completed. But you can't imagine this. They were 3-bedroom, full basement, central heat, $10,000. When you advertise that, you'll furnish them a lot, everything. Oh, now you're not really landscaping a lot, but you can sell them. Oh, and
What year was that?
that was in the mid 50s. But if they bought that house, we hardly made any money on it. But we let them change it any way they wanted to. We did not, no one buy that exact house. They all added on to it, and that's where we made our money.
Really?
But for instance, he's talking about quick. One of the houses I was building that had 3 bedrooms, full basement, the man come by and said, "When are you gonna build my house?" I said, "Tomorrow." Now we had steel building there, a steel beam that went across the basement. But I had my crew there the next morning. We framed that house that day. And back then you did not have plywood. You had we used 1x12s, And the subfloor you'd put it on diagonal. And the sides you had to nail the 1x12 on, Decking on top was 1x12. 2-foot overhang all the way around. We had the roofer there at 4:30. Before dark, he had the roof on it. And the man, just after dark, come by and looked at his house, and he come to me, he said, "I can't believe it." He said, "Where in the world did you move that prefab house in here?" But I had a pretty good framing crew, and I worked with them.
About how many people on your crew?
At that day we had 8 men, counting myself. And then we had subcontractors that done most everything else. I had a partner that had me. He took care of the masonry work, seeing to it done, and I took care of the carpenter work, and I took care of seeing after the plumbing subcontractor. He took care of the electric sunk. But anyway, we had it all divided up where we could do what we needed to do and coordinate the other work to get it done. But we were told by the people in the know, like a vice president of General Motors said, "Now next year it's going to be dead, you boys had better watch." Because I also framed his houses. He didn't build but 2 or 3 really fine homes, but he let me take my men and frame them for him. And we seen to the trimming, we seen to all the carpenter work for him. He said, "Next year we're going to have a lot of layoffs because we got too many cars." So we said, "That's okay, we're going to move to Florida." So that's when we went to Florida. And I done carpenter work down there, but I also, on the business end, put in that subdivision for trailer subdivision. Yeah. It's good to have partners in business. Sometimes you need them, sometimes they need you. But be sure when you have a partner that he is more concerned about friendship and his profit, and everything works out. I knew a few people that wanted to be partners, but I knew they wanted money worse than they did friendship, and I did not work with them. Also, if you're dealing with crooks, and I done some work for them. You make them pay you up front. You don't start until you get your money. But if they want it done, they'll pay you ahead of time. That's the only time I ever wanted money up front. It's when I knew I was dealing with a dishonest person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I was first started in carpentry for someone else, I was working with a Pollock that was a wonderful carpenter, and he taught me really and truly. But another thing he taught me was when we got done and he had money, he partied until he's broke, and then we'd go back to work. So you don't do this. The other thing he learned me, if he overdrew on a job, he could never get it finished because he didn't have no more money coming. So you don't take your money up front unless you're working with a crook.
And what's the biggest way to tell someone is a crook from first impression?
Oh, you don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, you know from a community. I mean, if you got a crook that's doing things wrong, you know, it's normal, it's commonly known that this man will take advantage of you. So then if he wants to deal with you, you stop him from taking advantage of you by making him pay you first. Like if he wanted some pictures, which he might, and you'd be glad to do it for him, but make him pay you ahead of time. If other people that's told you that man's a crook, that's all the crooks that I dealt with. I knew as crooks because I told as crooks. Most of the people that does wrong, it gets out. And if you stay honest, it gets out, and people are glad to deal with you.
All right. Let's cut.